Welcome to DMOT Garage. We're back on the 57 oval beetle Ophelia, and I'm going to rewind from yesterday. We had the beetle around the other way, and I'll just quickly show you what we were doing there, and then we'll get back to what we're doing today. Check it out. So one of the first things, we have repaired that little hole that was here. We have a dirty great big dent right here that we've got to sort out with the stud puller, and we also have a couple of dents up here and one there. And I've already rust converted inside the rail in here, and obviously now we've got to weld a new little patch panel in here. So we might get onto this right now. I think this is the next thing to do. Let's get it done. Righto, so we have a little slither of metal ready to get welded in. I've obviously put primer behind it, and I sprayed a whole lot of phosphoric acid inside the gutter inside it and let it drip down either side, just to make sure that it's not going to rust in my lifetime in there again. Anyway, this thing, little magnet there, and we are ready to weld this in. Righto guys, there we go. That's all ground back, ready to rock and roll. Probably just needs a very light skim coat of filler over it, and we're good to go. Now, what we have to do now is come inside here. I've still got a crap load of grinding to do. All these welds here have to be all ground back as well. But, you know, this power file, if you've never used one of these, they're unreal. They just get into those little tight spots and they work fantastic. Now, this piece here I've made, it's going to go in like that. We'll spot weld that in. That'll take care of that section, and then we've just got a little tiny little hole in the corner here to fix up as well. And then after that, we've got some other issues on these back guards. You can have a look here in the corner. You can see there, that's all rotted along that seam. So we're going to have to chop a bit of that out on both sides. That side's a lot worse, you can see. So yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of surgery in here. And then also up in the corner there, that stitch is all kind of, I think this has had a hit at some point, and it's sort of just come away a little bit, so I'll just have to bang that back together and re-weld it. That shouldn't be too bad. Same on the other. Oh, hello chicken man, how you going over there? He's dazed by the light. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, we've got to do that corner in there as well. So yeah, we'll just keep going. Plod along inside here. So we have done a 180 with the beetle. I just thought, because we've got to start working on the rear end here, and I'll show you the parts that we welded inside. Now, we've still got a little bit more to do in here, but I'm waiting for the rust converter to dry before we can start doing any welding. But you can see where I've chopped out that section there, and also in there as well. So those bits have got to be welded up. We've got a little bit of a seam in the corner there to also weld. That's where we've had an impact. You can sort of see where the stitches have ripped apart. And the issue is, and I'll show you outside, you can see over here all this rippling, and all this rippling here, and all this part here has been pushed in. So I don't know. I've got the replacement sections that will take this whole section. I mean, this is all shagged here as well, but they're not very good quality. Like the stampings on them aren't good. You can see what I'm talking about if I get the right one, which is this one here. Just to give you an idea, if you have a look at this section here, which is that it's not a defined line like this one here is, and I had a look on the other side that hasn't had the impact, and yeah, it's just not really flash, but that's pretty badly punched in, so I don't know. I think we're going to probably have to replace it. I mean, I can only really cut it to that hole, which is about there. So it's not actually going to, it's not going to take it all the way up to this. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of panel beating on this and see if we can get that a bit better than what it is. And yeah, we'll go from there. So then I suppose we can just cut it straight down through here and take this whole entire piece off. Now, what I just did off camera, I've been working on the rear valance. Now this thing was absolutely smashed, pretty badly beaten up. So I've just been sort of trying to do this bottom section here. Had some big cracks in it. Someone to try and repaired it. And of course the sides have all been chopped out on both sides. That one's just full of, they went a bit spot weld drilling happy on that side. So we'll cut all that off and I'll just have to weld a new tab along the side here. And same on that one. And then we can start doing a bit of alignment. Now, I've played around with the hinges on here too, just to try and get this gap a bit better. It's still not 100%, but it's a lot better than it was. So it's not too bad. We'll play around with it a little bit further. We'll just have to start doing a little bit more beating up on this thing now. You can see how this part here is sticking out. And then if you look at the other side, it's completely not even there. So you can see that whole section's been pushed in. So let's keep going. Okay, so you can see here, I had to cut this section here out because this was pretty badly rusted. I tried sort of plugging up some of the holes and it was actually pushed in. So once I put the guard on, there was a huge gap all the way along here. So I decided I'm just going to cut it out, replace it with some new metal, put the guard on. You can see there's a little bit of a gap still here, but that's okay. So now at least I've got this all level and I can just weld a new piece straight back in and then we're back to square one. So it's definitely had an impact along this side somehow at some point. So yeah, we'll go and cut this out onto a new sheet of steel and weld her in and then we can keep moving from there. Let's go. So we have our piece of metal cut and we've also got primer inside in there and got a bit of a curve to it to match it. I think we're looking good. So we can get that tacked in as it is there and that'll just give us a better line across here. It's looking good. All right, let's buzz her in and see how she goes. Righto guys, so there we have it. That's all done all the way down to this lip. We've got a nice sharp line now. It's not all smashed in and it marries the other side. Looks the same. You can see over there, looking at that and then looking at that. So yeah, that part's all done. Next thing we've got to do now is take out the bottom rot and replace this section here on both sides. Now obviously we're not going to be using any of that, so we're going to probably just cut it sort of through here and just replace this part here. So we've got to do that on both sides because they're both knackered. So let's pop this engine lid up and you can see here I've already started to cut away this part here. So we want to leave this behind obviously and then weld that part back in. So I've just got to unpick this little seam along here and unpick this dirty mess and replace it. So yeah, that part there came up really nice. Happy with that. A little bit of work just to do just here, but that's okay. We'll keep moving along. All right, we're going to chop all this mess off now. I've got to try to leave the inside part, but we'll just try to unpick most of it. going to give us our location for everything. Okay guys, some more progress. We have drilled some holes. That one's just sitting in position now. I've bolted it in. That's almost ready for welding. And this one here, same deal, just drilled some holes through the side, which runs on that little tab along there, and then we're going to cut that whole section out. So that's just, I've bolted in like that. I've lined up the back and everything's looking good. So I don't think we were too far out of square as I thought we were. Yeah, I think it'll all turn out okay. So we'll get this stuff ready for welding and start banging them in. Okie dokie fellas, well we have our, I don't even know what we call these pieces, the triangle part at the back of the bug. We've got to get those welded on. I've just given it I took that black paint off them because I probably should have done that section down there too, but it's all good. Anyway, sandblasted that stuff off it and put a bit of primer on it. All we're going to do now is just do a little bit of welding down this seam, then we can take the clamps and the bolts and then chop the rest off and marry it all in. We did test the valance on the back, so everything is square. You can see I've got this side here to weld in as well. So without further ado, let's get it done. That is done diddly done. Now what we're going to do is just cut through here and take this piece here off, because obviously we want to keep the metal that's behind it, and then we've got to add a little patch panel just in this section back here. Alright, we'll get it done. Okay guys, so she's nice and solid now. I've gone and just welded that part, done the spots. We've just got this little piece here to go and put in and grind it back and call it good. Then we can get over onto the other side, get that done. Then we can start mucking around with the valance, because we want to make that removable. So we'll probably put some riv nuts, or I'm not sure, we'll come up with a plan in a minute for that one. Looking good, let's keep going. Righto guys, so this one is all done, and we'll just move on to the other side now, get that all fully welded up, and then we continue with some other little patch panels that we've got to do. Let's go. Okay, let's get this side here welded in. I've got both sides of the metal clean, got it clamped in position, and we're just going to put a tack in down the bottom here. It's under a little bit of tension, so what we want to do now is do the chop along the top here, so we'll go on the inside and do that. Righto, so we've got that top little piece cut off now, so we can now stitch this on where it has to go. Tacking over there to do, but I think we'll just put a spot where we're level, which is right there. Alright, we'll buzz the rest of this in and bring you back in again. There we go guys, that one is ground back and good to go. The next thing we've got to, well, we've got a few things we've got to do now. Get the valance mounted and work out how we're going to make it removable. But also this panel here has got a dirty great big warp in it right here when I was welding it. I think because it was cut across there, that panel just wanted to dive in. So yeah, she's definitely not straight. We've got to bring it out. Oh geez, probably I reckon half an inch at the bottom there. So it's got to move out. It's quite dipped in quite here, so we'll probably have to use the stud puller on that one just to finesse it and get it where it needs to go. Just one more thing to tick off, I suppose. Okay, so we've got the valance just sitting in position. It's not bolted in or anything, but I just wanted to make sure we were going to get our gaps along here right, and obviously when we shut the engine lid that it lines up, which it does. So yeah, we're looking good. All we've got to do now is just work out how we're going to put some fasteners so we can make that apron removable. Yeah, looking good. Well, I reckon that is going to do it for this episode, guys. Thanks again for the new subscribers, and we will see you in another episode soon. Phew.